But if we do declare a public health emergency, there is local legislation that allows me, I have authority. I have authority to take money. I have authority to take property. I have authority to move personnel wherever I feel they are needed to be. So yes, we would have to, basically you have no say. Basically you have no say. Basically you have no say.
Well, here's an opportunity for us as citizens to make the primary election work for us. To start with, my recommendation is don't vote for the current administration. You hear the difference between, at the opening of the show, the difference in point of view between Mike Nicholas and Lou Leon Guerrero. Which do you think has a more realistic opinion about what it's going to take to fix Guam Memorial Hospital? Based on what I've heard and what I've seen, the answer is obvious to me, and that would be Michael Nicholas. But we can't stop there, because we have to remember that the legislature is the people's house. And for the past 4 years, it has not been the people's house. It's been the house of Lou. So what we need to do this primary election, and use the primary election to work for the people for a change, is to change the makeup of the legislature and make it the people's house once again. So how do we do that? Well, we look at Bill 1136, which was introduced in the first days of the 36th Guam legislature as a way to limit the curbs of political abuse, emergency power abuse. Because here we are in the midst of supposedly a public health emergency, yet the governor has been posting all these videos of island-wide rallies and a motorcade, and I didn't see people social distancing, yet we're still in a pandemic. But what the reason the public health emergency does is it gives her the sole power to use federal funds as she sees fit. And that's not necessarily in the best interest of the people of Guam. So how do we recreate the people's house? Well, let's start with, on the Democrat primary, let's eliminate all the senators who refuse to allow the legislature to have oversight over the emergency powers after 90 days, guaranteeing the governor sole power over federal funds, starting with Tina Muñoz Barnes, who, by the way, was one of the masterminds behind the massive retroactive pay raise that gave senators a $30,000 pay raise in 2014. And was also one of the architects behind the flawed Simon Sanchez bill that almost cost taxpayers 60 to 70 million more than it should. And she's also the person behind the legislation that financially gutted Guam Memorial Hospital. And legislation that, I might add, was also ruled illegal in federal court. Followed by Sabrina Perez, who also salutes when the governor has orders for her, as does Joe San Augustine, who also is one of the key people behind keeping that business privilege tax in place that has yielded $100 million surplus for the governor of Guam, and Amanda Shelton, another Adelup loyalist, along with Pito Terlahi. If we eliminate those 5 people and put in place brand new candidates, and there are a lot of good people running for the first time under the Democrat primary, so if you vote for the new people, then maybe, just maybe, we will be able to restore the power of the people in the people's house and have the legislature serve the people first over serving the needs of Adelup first. We have a general election, we have the primary election this Saturday. I encourage every one of you watching this video to share this video with your family, friends, and co-workers, because together, when we go out and vote, we can use this primary to start realigning the politics of this island and turn the legislature into the people's house once again and eliminate this administration and put in place a potential administration, be it Mike Nicholas or Felix Camacho, that will put the people first when it comes to our public health care program. I'm Lou Leon Guerrero. This is my point of view, and remember, share this video with families, friends, and co-workers. They need to know the risks that we are taking as we move forward under this administration, and we need to stop it. It's up to us, because we know politicians are not going to put the people first. They haven't for 4 years. Why would they do it now? Contrary to what they're going to promise us in these last days of campaigning. Lou Leon Guerrero with my point of view, and I'll talk to you again next week.
But if we do declare a public health emergency, there is local legislation that allows me, I have authority. I have authority to take money. I have authority to take property. I have authority to move personnel wherever I feel they are needed to be. So yes, we would have to, basically you have no say.